It is an exciting time to be a WWE fan. The sports entertainment juggernaut is seemingly firing on all cylinders, with business booming at a level it never has before. The product is also arguably at a peak in terms of quality. There is so much to enjoy about modern world wrestling entertainment, but it doesn't become the global titan that it has overnight. Instead, the promotion has been around under some name and in some fashion for around 7 decades now. Throughout those decades, World Wrestling Entertainment has experienced incredible growth. The company went from a local territory to a worldwide sensation, and there were numerous highs and lows. This article will take a look at some of the matches and moments that helped make the sports entertainment titan what it is today. This includes an event from the 1990s, a big title change in 2003 and beyond. The first entry on this week's list is also the most recent. WWE held their Hell in a Cell Premium Live event on September 16, 2018. This show took place at the AT&T Center in San Antonio, Texas. Around 15,000 fans were in attendance for this big WWE show that featured Roman Reigns defending the Universal Championship against Braun Strowman inside Hell in a Cell. Not only that, but Mick Foley was the special guest referee. Unfortunately, the ending of the match left much to be desired. Instead of any kind of definitive winner being decided, Brock Lesnar returned to programming and attacked both Braun and Roman. In one of the worst Hell in a Cell finishes ever, a referee decided neither man could continue and the match ended in a no contest. The shocking return and decision ruined what could have been a memorable match. The next entry on this list is WWE Night of Champions from September 18, 2011. Around 11,000 fans were in attendance at this pay-per-view live at the First Niagara Center, which is in Buffalo, New York. The theme of the show was meant to be that every bout had a title on the line. Although the main event of CM Punk versus Triple H broke that mold, still, several WWE titles were on the line, including the World Heavyweight Championship. The then reigning World Heavyweight Champion Randy Orton went one-on-one with Mark Henry. After around 13 minutes, Henry nailed Orton with the world's strongest slam and won his first ever world title in the process. This was a massive night in the career of the world's strongest man. Unforgiven took place at the Giant Center in Hershey, Pennsylvania on September 21, 2003. The show was hosted by Monday Night Raw during WWE's first brand extension and featured around 10,000 fans in attendance. This Unforgiven pay-per-view featured a wealth of names from the era in action. This included the likes of Shawn Michaels, Randy Orton, Trish Stratus, Molly Holly, Shane McMahon, Chris Jericho, and Kane, among others. The main event saw Goldberg challenge Triple H in a World Heavyweight Championship versus career match. If Goldberg lost, his WWE career would have been over. Instead, the man won in just under 15 minutes to win a world title in World Wrestling Entertainment. The final entry on this list is also the oldest. WWE, then known as the WWF, held in your house. Mind Games lived from the Core State Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. 13,000 fans attended the shortened version of a traditional pay-per-view. The main event of the pay-per-view portion of the event saw Shawn Michaels put his WWE Championship on the line against Mankind. The two fought for over 26 minutes in an absolute classic that even a disqualification finish didn't ruin. While The Undertaker interrupted the bout and Michaels retained, fans absolutely adore the match and many consider it one of the best both Mankind and Michaels ever had. On a show with forgettable matches, such as Jose Lothario versus Jim Cornette, Mark Henry versus Jerry Lawler, and Savio Vega versus Justin Hawk Bradshaw, this main event stood out. WWE has always thrived on creating moments that fans talk about for years. From surprise title changes to shocking betrayals, every week seems to be filled with stories that define its ever-evolving history. This week in particular, spanning from September 16 to September 22, has seen significant moments that not only shifted the landscape of WWE, but also left an indelible mark on the careers of some of its biggest stars. Let's dive into 2 iconic moments that shook the wrestling world. Roman Reigns' match being thrown into chaos by a shock decision and a major star finally winning the world title after 15 years of grinding. Roman Reigns, the tribal chief and leader of the Bloodline, has dominated WWE for years with his unmatched charisma and powerful in-ring presence. Since his transformation into one of WWE's most compelling villains, Reigns has been at the forefront of the company's storylines. Yet even someone as untouchable as Reigns can find themselves at the mercy of WWE's penchant for surprising their audience. This week in WWE history, one of Roman Reigns' major matches ended in a way that no one could have predicted, a decision that shocked not only the fans in attendance, but also Reigns himself. This fateful match occurred during an edition of Friday Night SmackDown, where Reigns was scheduled to defend his WWE Universal Championship. His opponent? A rising babyface, beloved by fans and on the brink of superstardom. Someone who was once considered an underdog, but had risen through the ranks, poised to challenge the head of the table. The atmosphere was electric, with fans split between cheering for the underdog and those supporting Roman Reigns' dominance. Reigns, with his usual swagger, approached the match with the confidence of someone who had been reigning supreme for years. It was supposed to be another typical night where Reigns would retain his championship, adding another notch to his already incredible title reign. However, the night took a shocking turn that no one saw coming. As the match progressed, the challenger put on an impressive display of resilience. There were moments when it seemed as if he was on the verge of pulling off the impossible, nearly pinning Reigns on multiple occasions. The crowd's energy intensified, sensing that a title change might actually be on the horizon. Then, just when it seemed like the match had reached its climax, WWE made a shock decision. The match was abruptly stopped by outside interference, and none other than Paul Heyman, Reigns' special counsel, made his way to the ring. But instead of assisting Reigns, Heyman shocked the world by turning his back on the tribal chief, signaling a betrayal no one had anticipated. The match ended in complete disarray as Reigns was blindsided by this turn of events, his title retained only due to a disqualification. The betrayal by Heyman was a game-changing moment, setting the stage for future confrontations and reshaping Reigns' narrative. In the aftermath, fans speculated endlessly about what led to Heyman's sudden change of heart. Was it a calculated move? Was there a deeper story at play? Regardless, this moment proved that even Reigns, WWE's most dominant figure, was not immune to WWE's unpredictability. While Roman Reigns' chaos unfolded, another significant moment that took place this week in WWE history was the culmination of a 15-year journey for one of the most beloved figures in professional wrestling. For over a decade, this wrestler had fought tooth and nail in WWE, enduring countless setbacks, injuries, and near misses, but had never quite managed to capture the elusive World Championship. The star in question was none other than Mark Henry. Known as the world's strongest man, Henry had been a fixture in WWE for years. Despite his immense size, power, and charisma, his career had been filled with ups and downs. From his early days in WWE during the Attitude Era to his time as a member of the Nation of Domination, and later as a monster heel, Henry was often viewed as a star who could never quite reach the top. But in 2011, on the September 18 edition of Night of Champions, everything changed for Henry. After a long, arduous career, he finally found himself in a position to challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship against Randy Orton. Orton, a multi-time world champion, was the epitome of what a WWE champion should be: young, athletic, and technically gifted. In contrast, Henry was seen as someone who, despite his talent, was often relegated to the mid-card. As the match began, fans were unsure whether Henry could actually pull it off. After all, Orton had vanquished many other competitors, and few believed that Henry would be the one to dethrone him. But Henry, with the weight of 15 years on his back, fought as though his entire career had built to this moment.